Welcome back, everyone. So happy you're here. This is episode number 38 already. Wow. And today, it's all about shortcuts. So stay tuned. I have a friend who always liked bending the rules. We haven't seen each other in a long time, but we spoke on the phone the other day. He now also lives on the West Coast, and we talked about traffic in California and the metered freeway entry ramps that we don't have back in Texas, at least that I can remember. So he told me about ways that he found to circumvent these meters, which are basically traffic lights that indicate when it's your turn to get on the freeway. And when he told me this, I remembered this very specific fact about him and how long time ago, when I was freaked out about a speeding ticket I got, he told me all the ways that I could get out of it. He's from Europe like me, and you know, we Europeans, we like to drive fast. But I distinctly remember our conversation back then, and this is many, many years ago, where I just could not comprehend how I could argue something as clearly evident as going over a set limit which was measured. I couldn't think of a single excuse for that, even though I wanted to, because I didn't have much money and I would have loved to not have to pay for that ticket. And I felt a little stupid. I listened to all his suggestions of how he had figured out the system and I had not. I felt like I'm missing out on something, that I was a loser who has to pay for her ticket while nobody else seems to do that. So when we had our recent conversation, all I could think of was this: what a waste of energy. Trying to circumvent a system that was put in place to keep order. It was put in place with purpose. Do you waste energy on trying to find ways around? Do you try to get away with things? Are you bending the rules to make them fit your understanding of how things should go? I know I did my fair share of that when I was younger, and I probably still do at times. One of my major things was cutting in front of people on the road or in lines because I was running late or I was in a hurry. Or I didn't accept when people told me how something worked and I just complained. Yep, I was that difficult customer that every call center would talk about in their team meetings. There are certain things that are worth standing up for in this world. But trying to get out of a traffic ticket or circumventing rules, to me, it's shirking responsibility. Not paying parking tickets, spending beyond credit card limits, making excuses for turning in projects past the deadline, coming to work late or leaving early. This may work in movies for the hero that is trying to get away from the bad guys. But real life is different. It has to do with taking responsibility. It has to do with doing what is right. While that doesn't sound as appealing and canny, it's your best ticket for success in life. If you feel you're fighting the fight, you feel strong and smart, but against whom are you really fighting? I would say you fight against yourself. So here are my 4 sad but honest takes on shortcuts. I urge you to contemplate them. Sticking to the rules sounds uncool, but remember, our life's purpose is not to be cool. Our purpose is not to appear, but to be. Number 1, taking shortcuts is living on lower ground. I know, as shocking as it may sound, you think you're so smart, you found so many clever ways around the system, a new angle, a loophole, and you expect applause and credit. But really, let's be honest, all this energy invested just so you could come out first, unseen and unscathed, you never see the higher realms of where you could be living. You always meddle on the bottom of the pit. Instead of working on bigger issues, applying your aptitude in productive and creative ways, instead of advancing in life, learning lessons and applying them, and maybe even helping others learn them, you're always on lower ground, like a pocket thief that can't make it big. It's actually really sad, and the thing is, you know it. Number 2, taking shortcuts is living in and admitting to fear. Yup, you're scared. You're afraid to face responsibility. That's why you shirk it. That's why you come up with all sorts of distraction maneuvers that may seem clever, but they're just that. Distraction from the real issue. And the issue is you. You have fear. Fear to change, fear to take responsibility for the issues that cause the dilemma that you're trying to cover up. Fear to face your weaknesses. To address the issue of you always running late by maybe leaving earlier. No way, that would not be logical. To admit that you struggle with money, with drugs, with alcohol, with cheating, with lying, and maybe asking for help. You are afraid to fight, so you take flight. Number 3, taking shortcuts is skipping ahead. It really is cheating, but to help you get the picture, I'll be more descriptive. By skipping to the front of the line or around the issue, you're missing the important lesson that life is teaching you. The results are usually unfinished or half-done outcomes anyway, which only lead to more of the same issues you already have. If you decide to skip the lesson will reappear in your life, but with increased severity. Cheating your way through life may work with traffic tickets, at your job, with people that don't care much. But it won't work with your loved ones or with your own happiness. The consequences will get bigger and bigger and more challenging to fix until they become impossible to fix. Here's a quote from Brian McGill. Every shortcut has a price usually greater than the reward. Think about that. Number 4, taking shortcuts is not getting you to your end destination. You may think it is. You got the A on the test. You didn't have to pay the fine. You made your money, you got the promotion or the better car. But you didn't learn anything. You learned to beat the system. Great. Is that a life skill that will help you advance, or will it just help you stay out of trouble? The key to living a fulfilled life is learning from your failures. Once you do, doors will open up that you never knew existed. Life has an amazing way of helping you realize your dreams in ways far from what you could have ever imagined. But you have to be open to it. And the obstacles that come along and the failures, you have to just move through them, not circumvent them. So my advice is this. Take responsibility for your life. When you made a mistake, admit it to yourself. Admit to yourself that you did it and then fix it. Otherwise, you'll run around in the same hamster wheel for the rest of your life. Shortcut, cleaning up the mess. Shortcut, getting what you want. Shortcut, circumventing responsibility. You realize that this is the same thing over and over again. I'll be very honest. Grow up. Follow the rules of society. By bending them, you're not teaching anyone anything. You're just holding yourself back. Pay the fine, clean up the mess, and wait in line. Understand that every behavior has a consequence. And you will learn valuable life lessons along the way, such as caution, patience, responsibility, and trustworthiness, and so much more. And that is what I call maturing. And I'm going to end with a quote from Michael Jordan, which I find really appropriate for this topic of shortcuts. Be true to the game, because the game will be true to you. If you try to shortcut the game, then the game will shortcut you. If you put forth the effort, good things will be bestowed upon you. That's true about the game, and in some ways, that's true about life too. Have an amazing day. Until next time.